How's it going? I hope you're doing as good as I'm doing right now. Gym was honestly good. The mental energy is still kind of low today, but we're gonna get into that. But bench was actually really good. I felt very explosive today. Was able to really take my time and have those nice, slow and controlled reps. That's always what you want on a pause day. And snatches were pretty good. I think I was slightly overanalyzing. The first set was pretty wonky, but then after that I think I picked it up pretty well. I might have rushed a little bit on the last one, but it is what it is. It was a pretty good workout regardless. But I feel like I'm skipping the fucking rating. Physically, you know what? 7.5. I felt pretty good today. Nothing really felt tough. My shoulders did get pretty tight after doing bench, so it was a little hard to get into snatch. That's why the first set was a little wonky. But, I probably should have taken an extra 5 minutes to cool down, but it is what it is. It still felt fine. Mentally, man. Okay, I'm going to give it a 6.75. And I think that's kind of low. And I feel better than I'm letting myself on, and I want to be kind of honest with myself. So I thought, why not get a little bit philosophical with you guys? Because, why not? I think it's really important to bring up how others' poor life decisions will drag you down, and it is so goddamn infuriating to deal with this kind of bullshit. I have been going through this a little bit more recently, and so, it's been tugging at my brain a bit, and I figured it'd be good to get it out, see what you guys had to say, and if anybody wants to shoot the shit about this kind of stuff, mention it in the comments or anything. I'm not saying that just to get you to comment. I love seeing what people have to say about this shit. Or if you have an idea of what I could talk about in a different video, I would love to hear it. It'd be really cool to talk about something that you come up with rather than myself, because sometimes I got nothing to talk about. Anyway, I feel like the majority of my childhood and life up to this point, there have been so many figures in my family especially that have gone through so much bullshit because of their own poor decisions throughout said process. I'm not going to try to get too specific because I don't want to be a dick and call people out. But there have been people that I do not have a great relationship with now, and people I have an amazing relationship with now that have both, dragged me down a bit because of their poor decisions. In specifics, I'm not, I can talk about my girlfriend all I want. We're amazing. I'm very happy with the way that we've turned out. She knows everything that I feel, so, why not spew that a bit? But she used to be in a horrible situation with her family, very abusive stuff, a lot of drugs growing up, that kind of shit. Not good. And so, while I, of course, will always understand that it is not her fault for where she ended up, once she got to start acting independently, getting over those traumas was up to her, And so, of course, I gave all the support I could, but that's all I can give, I can't give solutions. I can't give a final arc to the story. She's got to get there herself, and I'm just trying to give her the support and aid that might get her to take that last step, And luckily, she did it. That's great. And I hope that most people will get to this point in their life where they can realize that the shit that they're going through is only dragging them down as much as they're allowing it to, and that really focusing on what would make your life better individually rather than trying to appease the people that you think you should be making feel better or doing at least what they say you should be doing. That's what's important. There's, especially with family, you grow up with this stigma that you have to do everything the parents says. And of course, when you're growing up, listen to your goddamn parents, But when you start getting to a very mature age, or you start becoming at least independent, especially in high school, you can't really control a kid anymore. You can only just kind of give them as much advice and support as possible, but they're going to do whatever they want. So it's more about realizing that, like, hey, you're in control now, so let's, pick up the pace a little bit. And, like, if there's something that I could be doing right now that it will make my life better and stop hurting other people's lives in the process, because most of the time when somebody hurts your feelings and they're close to you, they're just projecting, and that's what sucks the most. Is like, I know that they never mean it. I've always had a bit of a rough situation with my dad, and I think we're doing better especially from where we used to be. But it's still super unfortunate and very hard to come to compromises with certain people. And so the other side of it, the people that cannot come to that compromise or realize that they got to do what makes them happy while also leaving everybody else in their surrounding social circle unharmed by their actions. And so, like, I've grown up with a lot of alcoholism in my family and a lot of emotional abuse kind of stuff. And not to underplay it, I know what I went through was pretty shit, but I'm past it. Again, just like I just said, it's only going to drag me down as much as I let it. So why let it? So I'm doing my best to just maintain me, and I hope the best for my family members that are going through whatever they're going through to figure it out. But I can't stick around to do to mend my life around their mistakes. I've been constantly haggled, like, the majority of my childhood and up to this point, to just conform to what the people want when it comes to drama and stuff. And, like, most of the time I feel like a lot of people will just give way and be like, oh, well, I don't want to be the one that makes them explode about their emotions or whatever, so I guess I'll just let it go. And I think that's some complete fucking horseshit. It is not up to the person being affected to solve the situation just because the person causing the issues is being so stubborn that they don't want to change. It's just horseshit. And of course, like, I know that some figures in your life seem so insurmountably important that you don't want to cause any rifts in your relationship with them, but the older I get, the more I realize that as much as I want to create a sustainable relationship based off whatever actions I think might mend whatever has happened, even if they aren't willing to do the same amount of effort, they're not going to change just because I'm doing this kind of stuff. They will always lead this life of bullshit and back and forth, not being able to commit to who they really are. Because if you're, like, at least if you're going to make piece of shit decisions, commit to making piece of shit decisions. It's not that hard. Like, so many people could be so much happier if they just committed to who they were. Because if you're going to be a piece of shit, commit to it, but get away from the people you're hurting, Like, that's your own goddamn fault. So if you're going to be that kind of guy that wants to commit to that life, whether you're a narcissist, an alcoholic, whatever, then commit to it, but hang with the people that are going to, like, support you through that. I know that sounds bad because nobody wants to support addiction or bad behavior, but again, people are, like, once you hit a certain age, I think before you hit 18, your brain hits this individuality, this development of the individuality where it's not going to change much from there. Your experiences in life may make you a little bit better at counteracting shit you go through, but the principles that you live your life by will always be your own. And that's how it should be. But again, for those who want to help the people around them and not cause harm and just spread love and joy, whatever, not trying to be cringy about it, but just having good relationships and just minding your own goddamn business, then you're fine. People are going to want to gravitate toward you because you are that way. That's something I realized a little bit too late. Not too late, it's never too late, but later than I wish it did, because especially during my childhood, I kept trying to conform to these figures in my life where it dragged me away from my own social circle. Like, I stopped putting in effort anywhere else because I had no emotional battery in my brain to fixate on other people. I've mentioned this a lot, but like your level of emotional maturity, I think is kind of based on how well you're able to support other people while also maintaining yourself mentally. And I am in a very secure spot where I know for a fact I'll always be able to support myself mentally and emotionally. And so whenever it comes to the support or whatever I have to deal with, like with the bullshit people in my life, I'm going to have enough to put into that. But I got to remind myself not to dive too deep, because I will always help as much as I can, but I cannot help as much as I can to where it limits what I want to do with my life, you know? And I don't want people to think that I'm being overly selfish, but God damn it, we have a very short life and a very short time in this short life to go do whatever the fuck we want, you know? And so if you're going to limit yourself because other people are telling you to, then you got to start changing shit up, because nobody feels good doing that. You may have convinced yourself over the years of going through all this bullshit that it's okay to feel like you got to help these people out, or it's okay that sometimes you got to deal with these personalities. But no, I genuinely believe that is complete horse shit. You need to be selfish for your personal passions, your personal beliefs. Because again, these people that drag you down, they're just living by their beliefs to the maximum extent that they can. So why shouldn't you? So if they're not going to bend to what you want, why should you bend to theirs? You know, just because somebody may be older than you or be more successful money-wise or material-wise doesn't matter. Like nothing matters. It's like nobody's social circle, nobody's money, nobody's wives, girlfriends, nobody's anything. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is you and how you are going to go through your life. So I don't know. I went off a little bit harder than I meant to, but I was just getting a little pissed off. You know, it happens. I'm going to be fine, because I know I'm going to be fine. I'm living for myself. So it just kind of sucks to have to deal with these people for the 5 minutes that it drags me down for that 2 seconds. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I'm me. I'm going to just move on, do my shit. And that's about it. So again, take it with a grain of salt. Everybody's got their own situation. I get it. And I think especially when you're younger, not to say that you are not capable of handling said situations, but when you don't have as much experience as someone who is older, it is really hard to make the decision to put your foot down and really commit to your own personal livelihood. So just, find a set of principles that you really feel happy living by, and, whatever emotional support you're able to give after that, great. But if you're given more than you got, then of course you're going to get dragged down and it's going to fuck you up in life. So I don't know. Again, take what you will from that. Doesn't really matter anyway. But I hope that may have reached someone in a way. I don't know. I don't like getting too personal about this stuff, but I think personal bias can be a good thing in certain situations, because it can be cool to see how someone's mindset evolves throughout their own experiences. Because I tell you, if you go watch one of the first videos I put up on this channel, everything felt so different when I was talking about all this stuff. I've gotten a lot more confident in a short amount of time. So I don't know. I don't know what life's gonna do for you or what your actions are gonna cause, but it doesn't matter. If you're gonna make a step forward in your life, commit to it. At least give yourself that amount of credit to commit to what decision you want to make, and then it's one step at a time from there. It's not that difficult, or it's not that complicated. It's much more simple than people like to make it. So I don't know, but gonna go try to shove my face with whatever food I can find at the pantry, because I'm hungry as shit and I got a fat homework assignment to do tonight. But other than that, just enjoy yourself. Don't think too hard about it, but just think enough to where it might help you out. But that's all I got. I hope it helps regardless. See ya.